Hello my friends, and as usual let's go to the Bakhmut city. We have some of the changes. Russia took some of the ground behind the railroad. If we go to the timeline, it was yesterday, and today they've took a couple of the quarters of the residential area. However, they are still unable to take the railway station itself. They actually took it 2 days ago, so it was like that, but Ukrainian forces pushed them away from the railway station, and it was the second time that Ukrainian forces are pushing Russians from this area. Even though Russia continued to send the elite forces to help Wagners in the city itself, they are struggling. And I don't see the end of the battle for Bakhmut, well, at least till the end of this month. I think the main idea for Ukrainian General Command is to keep Bakhmut under control until Ukrainian forces will go on a counterattack, and it will happen, I hope, during the springtime. Well, I expect it to be like that, and not only me. For example, Newsweek magazine provides the information about the particular date of Ukrainian counterattack. They say it's based on the leaked documents, and it is the 30th of April. Well, I guess it could be true. By the end of the April, we'll have the solid soil that is able to withstand the weight of the tanks. It's usually like that. Well, maybe Ukrainian generals will postpone the counterattack because the date was revealed, but anyways, the future Ukrainian counterattack was well advertised around by Ukrainian officials, by our allies, by Russians themselves, so Russian army is ready for the possible outcome, but they think that they may stop the Ukrainian army. It is false. Yes, there is still a probability, but I would not bet on that. And today it was the interview with our army intelligence boss Budanov. He says that Ukraine will start the counterattack very soon and it will be successful. Just to remind you, the last year he predicted that during the spring 2023 the Ukrainian army will go to Crimea. Well, I just hope it will be like that. I found a couple of our pictures from the front lines. You can see the soil is kind of dirt, so the weather is wet, but you can see the first flowers on the trees. It's sakura or cherry. And this is the BMP-2 on the background, the infantry vehicle of Ukrainian army, so it means that soon it's gonna be very warm. And Wagner army is building their own defense lines. This is very effective, and they use lots of the soldiers that digged into the ground building those hills. This is Irkutsk, my friends, 1,000 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. So what those guys were doing in Ukraine, I don't really know, but all of the graves are fresh. It means that Wagners continue to receive severe losses near to the Bakhmut, and not only. Well, unfortunately, we also have severe losses in Ukrainian army because of the urban fighting in Bakhmut. The losses increased for Ukrainian side. But our heroes will be remembered for centuries. But Russians, Wagners, I don't think so. This is the Russian TV. They say that America wants to take Russia, you see, weapons, bullets, and you need to go and join the Russian forces because there you'll have the white kitten, you see, and you'll fight for justice, they say. So join the army, the contract army. You'll have the salary from 204,000 rubles. With the current rate and tax deduction, it should be around $2,000 per month. And for that, you just go and find your end in Ukraine. And I've just received the news about the huge fire in Tumen. Tumen is the Russian Federation. It is far away from Ukraine, like thousands of kilometers. And the fire is really huge, probably the oil storage or something. One more picture and one more. Wow, very beautiful. As you can see, it's not the electrical power plant or something. There are some lights around. The modernized Polish Twardy tanks are already in Ukraine, so here they are. This is the training for our tankists, and soon they'll be ready for the counterattack. Maybe already ready. And I was right about the yesterday's video with lots of the Ukrainian soldiers. So here you can see the marking. This is the taxiway, and they go on the runway, the unpaved runway. Why they are doing so? Because the airfield is the vast free land where they can train. Unfortunately, we have the first loss of the Leopard tank. It happened in Poland during their training. Those photos went to the public and officials said that this tank was fixed. So what actually happened? There are actually two versions from what I understood. The first one, that this tank was going down from the hill and went into the sand with his turret and the barrel. And because of the high pressure, the turret separated. The other version says that this tank collided with other tank. So you can see the marks on the barrel and clearly it was the hit. But after reviewing this image more closely, I tend to believe in the version about the collision with other tank, because if you zoom in to the sand over here on the tank base, you may see the trace of the caterpillar of the other tank. So one more picture and you can definitely see it over here. I hope that other tank didn't sustain the huge damages. So what they need to do, and I'm sure it was done already, is to repair this part. This is the seal, it is the iron one from what I understood. And also they need to repair this ring of the turret and the barrel, of course, because there is the big hit on this side. This white part of the barrel, I call it the canister, is used not to let the gases into the turret after the shot. It creates some differential pressure and there is no smoke inside the tank. Well, what can I say? It might have happened to any tank, but probably I'll put this picture on a thumbnail with a big title for people to click on the video and know the information about the current situation in Ukraine. The thumbnails really matter for the audience, so sorry about it. And about Reznikov, the Ukrainian defense minister, he apologized that he compared the losses of Ukrainian army with the losses of Turkish people from the natural disaster, the earthquake. So at least he understood that it was inappropriate comparison. And today we have received the awesome news that Slovakia transferred all of the MiG-29 fighter jets to Ukrainian army. We obtained 13 units from Slovakia, and before there were some issues with 4 airplanes because some of the engineers, the Russian engineers, messed up with equipment, but that issue was solved, the airplanes were repaired and transferred. Soon we're gonna obtain all of the Polish airplanes, we're almost done with it, and after that I must say that it's time to begin the counteroffensive. Finally, the G7 countries have decided to limit the Russian nuclear energy and their export outside the Russian Federation. The same stuff they've done with the Russian oil, limiting the price maximum $60 per barrel. And you know what? Other countries joined their decision, and also it was interesting for me that India also joined that limit. But the Russian oil nowadays trades below $30 per barrel for the Urals, so I think that it is the cheapest oil that you can probably get. The same stuff happened to Iran before. Plus, many companies refused to supply the Russian oil on their ships. And the atomic energy is also a huge benefit for the Russian budget. So now G7 countries will limit that and other countries will join this club. This is one more picture from the front lines. By the way, this is the trophied BTR 82A from the Russian Federation, but it is now serving in Ukraine. And as you can see, it's stuck in the mud. But in general, I would say that it is getting better. Before there were just swamps, and now it's drier and drier day by day. Alright, yesterday I showed you the Bradleys in Ukraine, and I say that they need the paint job because they were yellow. Well, now they have the official camouflage of Ukrainian army, the pixel one. And I might say that we have the very nice modification of the Bradleys with the side armor, quite effective, and also anti-tank tow rockets. Again, if we speak about statistics, in Iraq, Bradleys destroyed more enemy tanks compared to the Abrams tanks. because of the tow system that is installed on the turret of the Bradley. And this I found on the pro-Russian group. This is the result of the Javelin attack on the Russian T-72B3 tank. This is the deep modernization of the T-72, and this tank is equipped with Contact 5 system. This is the special armor that explodes, and as you can see, it worked actually. But as you can see, the Contact 5 is useless against the high energy stream of the Javelin shell. Unfortunately, the tank survived because the stream entered to the end of the barrel where you charge it with the shells. I guess some hatch was opened on the tank, and that helped the crew to avoid the barrel trauma. And again they show the result, saying that Contact 5 is useless against javelins. You know, I was really surprised to find the information that Azerbaijan is also using the T55 tanks in their army. They used them in a conflict in 2020 between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I just hope that Azerbaijan gets something more modern than T55, because they have the Turkey as their main ally, and Turkey has Leopard 2 tanks. And Azerbaijan is kind of the rich country if we speak about the ex-Soviet countries, and I think it may afford better tanks. Right guys, I haven't discussed with you the other parts of the front lines. Well, maybe because there are no any changes. Russia is still stuck in Avdiivka. Basically, they're stuck in Bakhmut and everywhere in Vuhledar. They're waiting for the Ukrainian move, for the massive counterattack that was promised by Ukrainian officials, and we are all eagerly waiting for that to happen. Unfortunately, that will bring more losses for the Ukrainian army. It's better for Putin to just withdraw his forces from Ukraine and finish this war, but he's not going to do it anyways. That is why the only way out is to attack, or in our case, counterattack, liberating our territories. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also please subscribe for my Telegram channel, because I upload there more often compared to YouTube. And if you want to support my job, there are some links available in the video description below, where you may find also my Patreon, or you may support me on the sponsorship just on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your help and your kind support. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.